Hey, this is Kristen Shaw with Show and Tell with Airport Improvement, and today we are talking to Gardy Willis with Kueper Blades. How are you today?
Hey, Kristen, I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Good. I want to hear about Kueper Blades. What are you guys up to and what's new?
Well, first and foremost, we are wishing for a little more snow across the country, but it's coming. We'll get it. Kueper Blades' focus is primarily on one thing, and that's snowplow cutting edges. Cooper's a 60-plus-year-old company out of Germany, and together we formed a joint venture here in 2010 and service all of North America. Our headquarters is in Charleston, South Carolina, which is a little bit odd for a snowplow blade company, but we like our lifestyle too. And our warehouse is centrally located in Missouri. But currently we sell product to, about 75, 80 different airports all across North America.
How do you compare to other companies that sell similar things?
Well, we're a little different. Cooper was one of the pioneers. Their specialty is vulcanizing or embedding various wear materials in specialized rubber compounds. And really, they're the leaders in the technology. And typically, in most airport applications in the country, we don't see these types of specialty edges mounted for runway use or taxiway use. So for us, honestly, the airport industry was something new. Our European partners don't focus too much on airport business, but they said go for it, and we learned a lot. So we really attended our first Buffalo Snow Symposium, I guess about 7 or 8 years ago now, and we had very good response. We had some local testing candidates, Airport of Buffalo, of course, and everything has been going well since that time.
If they don't focus so much on airports in Germany and across Europe, what do they focus on?
Predominantly, just roadways, autobahns, things like that. What we would consider our state DOT business, municipal business. That's always been Cooper's core, and quite frankly, it's our core here as well. We sell blades in some capacity in over 45 states. But airport it's a niche market for us, and we have some products that happen to work very, very well in that application.
Is there a typical season for selling, or do you sell the blades all year? Or do people suddenly get close to winter season and think, oh boy, I better make sure I'm prepared?
Yeah, you always have your last minute folks, absolutely. Typically, our selling season starts in the spring. So for example, in the airport industry, our big airport trade shows, our big Buffalo shows in April. And, that sort of gets people thinking, okay, towards budget time and planning for purchasing of product. Our airports, I should say, that are ahead of the game typically will buy in the summertime. Summertime, maybe early fall, and they'll be well prepared for the winter. Other airports, you always have your stragglers, but that's okay. We have plenty of product, and hopefully we can get it there in a timely fashion. Our other selling season, of course, is right now, but that's dependent on the snowfall. If we're having a strong winter in many locations, then people are using blades, calling us constantly for product.
Are there any new airports that you're trying to sell the blades to? It seems like everybody would be replacing what they have.
Yeah, there are always new airports. They're always the ones that, haven't had snow for a couple of years, and you've met them at the shows, but for one reason or another, they didn't buy blades and didn't test blades that season or the next season. So there's always someone to go back to. And, we are coming out with new airport-related or airport-specific product. So it's always good to go back in front of those folks and say, hey, we have this to offer you now as well. Do you want to give it a try? Or something like that.
I would think buying a blade made for snow removal in the summer would kind of feel like buying winter clothes in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, but these guys, they like to have their equipment or their parts on the shelf.
Right.
And winter operations are very, very serious at all airports across the country. They can't afford to have that runway closed. And they pride themselves on being able to go out and do the job. So most everyone's pretty well prepared ahead of the game.
Can you think of a couple airports that do snow removal really well?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I can certainly name them. You have for your larger airports. Boston's always taken a lot of pride in their snow removal operations. Denver, now that their airport has expanded, they've really taken things seriously out there as they grow and become more of a hub. Certainly City of Chicago's always done a good job. Minneapolis, St. Paul's always done a good job. I mean, in the areas where you would expect, to see, the strong winters, strong snowfall, they're used to it. They sort of shrug it off. But yeah, most everyone does a pretty darn good job out there. They all have good equipment, good personnel, and that really makes the difference.
How are you seeing any changes in weather patterns at airports? Are you noticing that more and more diverse kinds of airports are buying what you guys sell?
Yeah, we sell to a lot of mid-country airports and southern airports as well. Certain airports like Memphis is a Federal Express hub, and again, these are their predominant customers on the commercial side, and they have to show these customers, much like the regular airlines, that they're ready for anything, even though it might snow, say, once every 2 or 3 years. They may not get consistent snow or consistent winter weather like, say, a Boston or Chicago, but nevertheless, they're important areas and they have to be prepared for it.
What would you say that Kueper Blades does best or better than its competitors?
Well, I think we're really lucky. I think number one, we have tremendous products. They might not be for everybody. They're not inexpensive, but they do the job. And, we have tremendous innovation and tremendous support, partner support coming from overseas. It makes my job very easy, honestly. I think also, too, we're a people business. We sell based on relationships. And I think our people are some of the best, out there. I mean, most everyone knows they can call my cell phone and get me right away, regardless. And I think that just makes the difference these days. Again, we're face to face, and we really look forward to the time when we can do all of that again.
Yeah, for sure.
If you look at airports and snow removal at airports, it's not like snow removal at your local township. You're under the gun time wise. You have flights landing, taking off, in between trying to clear runways. It's a very confusing dance, so to speak. You also have a large area that needs to be cleared. So you have multiple pieces of equipment in line, all choreographed to go do the job, all within a couple of minutes. For us, we see things, where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And one thing we've noticed just recently here, in pavement lighting, for example, because typically the snowplow doesn't usually come all the way down to the ground. The airports rely more on the brushes to get the last little bit of snow off the runway or the taxiways. So the way in which they mount the airport lights, even though there's a dedicated FAA specification to that, some don't always do so. And we've noticed that certain lights are mounted much higher and still become an obstacle for blades such as ours, which perform best when they are engaged fully with the ground. We've noticed this, and it's led to some damage at places where, of course, we had no idea that, say, the lights were above grade. And so we took this problem, and I'll hold up an example here. We took this problem to our German partners, and rather than embedding the traditional ceramics inside of our rubber blade, we came up with very specialized hardened polyurethane. And we've been doing a lot of testing at some airports in Germany with the product. We've actually now have tests running here since last winter at Philadelphia, Buffalo, Great Falls, Montana, and a few other places with that blade. And we find it does absolutely no damage to the lights. Again, it's working with the airports. It's finding out what the problems are out there. And it takes a little bit of time, but working with them to solve the issues. So that's just one example of what we do.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What would you say is coming next in terms of snow removal and airports and what you do?
Well, I hope again the snow is coming next, but for us, really expanding on this new product personally, to take any question out of whether your lights are in compliance or not. I would like to see us move more in the direction of this hybrid polyurethane and rubber cutting edge. We simply can't be on site to all different airports that are our customers. We can't go out there inspecting lights and such. It would be virtually impossible. So we have to rely on our products to sort of do that for us. So that's really one trend that I would see for those that want to run our blades. The advantage, of course, is really doing more with the plow itself and not relying so much on, say, the broom or the high blast of jet air to clear the runway. So, some airports that have had good success with that. A fun story out of Burlington, Vermont. They've been utilizing our edges for some time. Smaller airport, of course, but they've always had an issue with a lot of liquid on their de-icing pads, for example. And when they came through with their traditional equipment, the brooms on their machinery would hit the liquid on the ground, and it would spike the hydraulic pressure and blow lines out there on the de-ice pads. And all of a sudden, not only do they have a machine that's down, but they have an environmental issue as well. And they say with our blades, they're able to come down, blade fully engaged on the ground, and push that liquid right off to the side. So, it's just one thing that we learned, hey, that's kind of an interesting use of our edge. And it solved a problem at the same time.
Yeah, that is. They use it almost like a squeegee.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What's the smallest blade that you offer?
Now, we make blades for pickup trucks, all the way down for pickup trucks. The good airport example of that is Charlotte, not far from here, of course, Charlotte, North Carolina. Their contractors use a lot of our edges on their smaller pickup truck blades. So, and that should be mentioned as well. Of course, you have your field side, your airfield side operations, but also too, many airports are responsible for plowing their terminal side as well. And of course, our blades work on either side of the fence. So, we find use all around, small to big 30-foot pusher plows.
What kind of specific equipment would an airport need on the vehicle in order to use one of your blades?
Well, really just any old snowplow. On the terminal side, they have typical trucks that you might see in a DOT operation. So your 10, 11, or 12-foot standard plows. Of course, your smaller plows that are mounted to pickup truck, heavy-duty pickup trucks, and maybe the little skid steers. Machinery such as that. And then on your field side, of course, you find your massive equipment, anywhere from 18, 20, 22, 24-foot plows, all working in tandem. So really, we just need any snow plow, new, old, it doesn't matter. We can mount up to it.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything about Kueper that I didn't ask you about that you'd like for people to know?
No, honestly, I think you covered all the bases. Again, we're just exceptionally proud of our products. We're really proud of our people. But the third cog in that wheel is really our customers. I'm really proud to say that a good many of our customers are also really close friends. And we take those relationships very, very seriously. So, we pride ourselves on that. And hopefully, where appropriate, our products can help the industry.
It's a good way to do business.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Gardy Willis, Kueper Blades. We appreciate you being here today, and hopefully we'll see you out and about sooner than later.
I look forward to it. Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.